Hi everybody, and hi, my precious soul sister Corrine, my cosmic sister, all the way from out in the universe and the cosmos.
Yes,
How are you today?
I am beautiful. Little Arizona allergies, but you know,
Okay,
doing great.
it's that kind of season.
Yep.
Well, in Stockholm, we have huge snowflakes. I think they are a double thumb.
Wow.
They are big, but it's not very cold. I don't know actually. Maybe zero, maybe -1 Celsius, minus
Oh,
two,
yeah.
three. Yeah, that's nothing. I mean, in comparison, we could have -20. We didn't reach that, so I'm happy.
Wow.
So again, welcome everybody to another luminous episode, the Cosmic Sister Show with Corinne and Anne, where heart wisdom meets cosmic clarity. Today, we are diving into one of the most powerful forces shaping our inner and outer worlds: judgment and self judgment. How we see ourselves, how we see others, how
Mm.
we interpret every relationship in our lives. It all begins here. So it's important. And I'm excited for this one. This
Wow.
conversation opens the doorway to deeper self awareness, softer compassion, and a more conscious connection with the people we love and the world we move through. Join us as we explore the roots of judgment, the quiet voice of self judgment, and the transformative path towards seeing ourselves and others with clearer eyes and a more open heart. And today it's Wednesday, February 18th. Happy belated Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yes.
Uh, February 18th in Europe and US, and our future Thursday, February 19th in Australia. And again, we talk about judgment and self judgment, relationship to self and others. Our last show last week on February 11th was about letting go with grace. I love that show too. Very important.
Hmm.
A journey into unlearning. And we do go live for you on YouTube every week at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111 slash streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth /streams. And we do actually stream the replay on facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians. So I've done my talking for today, right? So let's dive into this wonderful topic.
Uh, as always, the universe gives me an opportunity to live what we're going to be speaking about. And as much as we have realized in our journey of self love and self mastery, that judgment still jumps up there and bites us in the you know what, and we have to deal with it. The beauty is that with the more tools that we have put into our armory, and that's a heavy word, into our awareness, we're able to handle things in a totally different way. And but when we come into the world, we're gifted with this unique form of divine awareness called intuition. And it's all around us. And this is how we navigate before we have speech. We assimilate the energies around us and are given the ability to learn how to be in this human form. And as we grow, we're given words for some of the things that we're feeling. However, when we start receiving those words, we understand that in order to survive, there's a lot that we are being trained to conform to. And we start learning that there's good and there's bad, there's right and there's wrong, there's yes and there's no.
Yeah.
And each direction we go, we're either going to receive a reward, which keeps us going, well, this is the way that I need to behave, whether it's contrary to what my soul wants or not, but that's how I survive. And if I do not conform, resisting it is going to result in punishment. So
Yeah.
judgment is born.
Someone says here, let us see, I can show the comment. I believe that only Islam is the valid religion in the day of judgment. Okay, everybody has their own opinion.
And thank you. And
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
You know, and the rest of us are just seeking our own our own form. But we do
Yeah.
we at a very young age we're given a code of what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and we start forming our thoughts around that particular code, and that yardstick is how we begin to judge everything that we do and everything that is around us. You know, is that the person I should play with? Is this the person I should talk to? Is this the school I should go to? Is this a job I could take? And judgment we've used as a measure of whether this is something we should do or not.
Yeah.
My question and my observation is, what is judgment? It is a process of eliminating and evaluating information to form an opinion and to make a ruling on it, whether it is acceptable or not. It involves
Yeah.
thinking and assessing evidence. However, it is also flawed to a certain degree because we start living our life according to the rules of others. And
Yes.
but it was interesting how we associate, should we drive faster or should we drive the speed limit? Those are judgments, yes. However, as we begin touching into the divinity of our humanity, we are given a different tool, and it's called discernment.
Yeah, it is. I'm chatting a little bit here. We have 2 or 3 people here. And I think someone said hi. I'm just going to mention that. And we had um, someone talking about Islam, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is from India. Interesting, because India has very different views about. And I think where we come from on our channel is actually stepping outside of conventions of what we are being told and what we
Yes.
learn. Simply, we don't mean it with an attitude. We mean it coming from our truth within. And there's not a gazillion truths out there, but the soul already knows. But
Yeah.
conventions in our world makes us go against ourselves. I think that's what we're talking about today. Judgments and self-judgments. For instance, expectations from, and we have this, it doesn't matter where we come from or where we are. We have this globally, all around our entire planet.
Mm-hmm.
And you are supposed to act in certain manners. There's expectations of what you do. And if you go against them and you go with something that is still very gentle and respectful, you are very likely to be judged, right? But
Yes.
judgment in this case is someone's opinion. Do I have to take on someone's opinion as my own? No, I don't, right?
And this is the process of finding your, first of all, your self-love. When you find that and realize that you are unique and that you are here to contribute in a unique way, and allowing the fact that maybe this situation or that situation does not allow me to really have that feeling that I'm being true to myself. And it's not selfish in any way, shape, or form. It's actually selfless. And that's why I started playing with the word discernment. Discernment is different than judgment because it comes from a higher understanding, and we're using more intuition. It
Yeah.
allows us to see things from a different perspective, to simulate the situation with more clarity, and not always falling back on the way I was taught, the way I was raised, and what other people are how they handle the situation. Discernment gives us a moment to pause and gather the facts and then allow our decision to be tempered with humility.
Yeah.
And we still are making a choice, which sounds like judgment, but it is coming from a higher perspective than just saying, oh, um, I don't like the dress you're wearing. You shouldn't wear that dress. Um, and making these quick decisions like that that really are not for the betterment of you or for the
No.
person you're around, especially in relationships. And lady, we get a lot of that information, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And you know, if we approach our different ways of seeing things and the world and our experiences with an open mind, and we can listen and take it in, and then we can determine, do I want to adapt to this? Is this resonating with me? Or is it something that I don't? Without judging. Um, no one is judging the other part, right? That
Correct.
is a very different way of approaching these things because we are all unique. We have many different ways of seeing the same thing. If you talk to 100,000 people, they may give you 100,000 different viewpoints of something, and we
Exactly.
can learn from that. But it's still up to us to determine, do I feel in alignment with this or not? Right?
Exactly. And if the shoe fits and you're comfortable, bless the beautiful shoes. If they don't fit, and then it's okay to take them off and try on another pair of shoes. And that doesn't make it right or wrong. That's judgment. It just makes it that this is more suited for my what I'm going to be. It's like even putting the right shoes on for the right event. I'm not going to wear ski boots to go swimming. I mean, I tried it one time. It just does not work.
It doesn't work, right? You
So
know, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, finish my thought because it just went away.
Okay, sorry. No, judgment is one of the most ancient human reflexes. It rises before we even realize it, right?
Exactly.
Because very often we have been taught to react in a certain way, right? not to ponder about things, but react to things. This is how we learn. This is how it's supposed to be. And something outside of that, we're going to judge, right?
Exactly.
And it shapes how we see ourselves. It shapes how we see others and how we move through the world. So it can protect us, but it can also limit us. It can guide us or imprison us.
That's
It
right.
can open the heart or close it. It can create connection or separation. To understand judgment is to understand one of the most powerful forces influencing our inner and outer relationships.
Yes, and the one person that we judge more harshly than anything else is ourselves. Um, well, I should have
Yes,
done
we
that
do.
better. I could have done that better. Maybe I'm the one that has to take the upper hand and say I'm sorry, even though I'm going to get it's going to be maybe not even solve the solution. But we have a tendency, rather than coming from love and truth, to fall into the shoulds and the shouldn'ts. And this is where, especially self judgment, in making our decisions about things, and we have all of these other little, you know, ideas and thoughts and well meaning advice. But at that situation, it's not going to be the solution. And by understanding that we, by getting in tune with ourselves and by taking a moment before we respond, is going to help us make a more logical conclusion than
Yeah,
just by saying, well, that's the way it is, that's the way it always was, and by God, I'm going to stay with it. And, you know,
exactly. And having the attitude because I say so, right?
exactly. And, like
Exactly.
mom always said, because I said so. And you go, oh, okay, that's going to work now, but it may not work forever, you know.
I think I have a question for you in the chat here. Do you wish
Oh,
to? Is I don't know if this is a he or a she, but you're welcome. I know a little bit of English. Tell me how to improve it. Yeah, well, listen to English and try to understand. And you can always also find subtitles, not on all videos, and I think you can on ours, but that has to happen after the live, right? I think that's a way. Do you have
yes.
a suggestion, Miss Corrine?
I just have such respect for people that are bilingual, and thank you for wanting you know to add another language to your repertoire. I grew up and we weren't offered other languages, and I think that was so sad because I have to depend totally on English speaking people and subtitles because I haven't had the opportunity to advance my speaking skills. So thank you for everything you're doing in this effort.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. And back to judgment and self-judgment, and we are both so pretty. Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Energetically,
That's
I hope that shines through.
yes. But self-judgment, many people, this is very general, but it's very common to judge oneself way more than we judge others
Oh, yes, yes.
because we are so hard on ourselves. I know I can better. Why didn't I do it? Um, am I doing wrong now? Maybe this person doesn't call me because there's something wrong with me.
Yep.
Many things of that nature, right? But usually it's a very, very small percentage that makes people not call us because they think there's something wrong with us. And by the way, And this is said without attitude. If they think that they don't feel in alignment with us, why hang on to them?
Yes.
Why?
And why, if we do not, if if we're not in alignment on that, and there, why, as you said, why push it? Why not accept that it's, this situation is just not going to be one that we're going to go into? Otherwise, a person would not stay away from where they know that this is not an acceptable thing for them. uh, why put yourself in a situation where you're always getting, banged over the head? Because I can bang myself over the head very well. I don't need to go out and have someone else do it.
That's so true. And you know, the roots of judgment, that's interesting. So, judgment very often arises from fear, conditioning, or past experiences. And human beings have a tendency to come from past experience, and it's fully normal because that is the only thing we know, that
Yes,
we have a conscious remembrance of, right?
correct.
The soul is a different story, but very, very few has that every minute connection with their soul, right? But that's what we're trying to explore and open up
Hmm.
with all of these conversations. So, uh, you know, the roots of judgment can act as a protective mechanism designed to help us navigate the unknown. Because when we are out there, we are stepping into something we don't really know, it's new. Most people feel, okay, this is totally out of control for me. And letting go of that control, it doesn't mean that we let go and do stupid and silly things. We still have our brain with us, right? Because
Yes,
we need all our senses in this world. But when something feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable, the mind categorizes it. It labels it, it evaluates it. This process is natural. It's a part of being human. However, when judgment becomes rigid or automatic, it can create distance. So awareness is the key here, right?
very much so.
And it can prevent us from seeing the truth of a situation or the essence of a person. It can keep us locked in old patterns and assumptions. I love the word assumptions. It can limit our capacity to grow. So instead of stepping into something brand new with judgment or fear or all those thoughts coming and going for a lot of people, you know, I've never done this before. I feel nervous. I feel this. I feel that. What could be the worst scenario? So if you just open up and try it out, and there's no such a thing as failure. The worst scenario would be, okay, no, I didn't really feel connected to that person, or I didn't think that that thing, that job, or that event was something for me. You have a
Yes,
new experience.
and having the courage and the desire to not put yourself in another situation that's going to be similar. And I love it the way the universe gives us an opportunity to practice what we're going to be talking about. Because
Mm.
I'm in a
Every
unique,
week.
yeah, I'm in a unique situation where uh, I am going to be more involved with one of my children that's graciously going to be of great assistance to me. However, there's a lot of things that she has not evolved through. And therefore, when I do something, she uses the pattern of, why did you do that? And how come you do it? Which then puts me in the situation of having to explain myself. And I realized that this is old stuff that needs to be reevaluated and discerned from a higher perspective. And
Yes.
the tools that I now have, I'm not going to respond to those ways of communication, but I'm not going to sit down and say, you're wrong, I'm right. I'm just going to start using my gifts of looking at things from a different way and gently allow, I love that word, to feel the difference in how we resolve things. And amazingly enough, in a very, very short time, it's not taking years, it's not taking eternity, it's happening almost instantaneously. And the way that she is approaching things now, instead of coming from uh, her fears and past experiences, she steps into this energy that is around and steps into discernment, and her words change. And this is the beauty of, we don't change the world or change people, but when we change, the energy around us then gives them the opportunity to make a shift.
Yes. And it's your energy that you pondered about and your response changed, right?
Yes. And there again, it's coming from a higher perspective. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not seeing the immediate uh, charge that used to be there, that caused me to, if somebody is coming at you with a big stick and you go like this, I'm finding that if that's where they're coming from, and I just step aside, I don't get hit with the stick. And that allows them to then see that I'm still available for conversation, and be able to come back and have a different way of approaching it. That was not said well, but that's what came into my mind. I apologize.
No,
But
it's okay.
it's but that's kind of the thing, that when we start making the change and not having that, I'm going to fight you on everything you say, and I'm going to be open to the possibilities that there is another way, it
Yeah,
it starts resolving itself without having to get angry, without having to be hurtful, without having to be defensive, and it takes the judgment away.
it does. We have MD Jamirul Islam, and there are Q7M, wrote something. Would you like to answer? Do you see the question?
I do.
Mm.
Okay, we are more Muslims than our parents are social. That's an interesting comment. I'm not. I don't feel that I'm qualified to be able uh, to give any clarity to that. That is a very. Thank
I
you.
don't really grasp the if it's a question, or it's very interesting, but I think if I'm catching it correctly, yeah, we are born in societies. We are, for instance, in Sweden, we are Protestants, Christians, right?
Yes,
In the United States, you have
everything.
everything. We have everything here too, but we have kind of what you're born into as a Swedish person.
Yes,
If you don't say anything else, I don't know if that changed. You can step outside of the church, but you have to make it a choice of yours.
yes,
Um, and of course, if you're born in a Muslim country, you're going to be born as a Muslim. If you're born where there's Hindu or other religion,
yes,
Buddhism, you're going to be born into it, right? So
yes,
I call all of those things. um, kind of conventions, because I feel that we are entitled to be able to pick and choose for ourselves. It's supposed, for me, in my perspective, to be a free thing.
Yes.
Um, I pick and choose what I want to, if I want to be a part of the church here in Sweden or not, right?
Yes.
But I don't have any trouble at all interacting with other people. And in the perspective that I'm not going to push them to obey to my opinions, right? And
Exactly.
and and I don't want them to do the opposite either. But there are a lot of places in the world where it's not free, and that is kind of making my heart cry a little bit because
Yes.
it's not a free choice. I
Yes.
think this is going has to be a free choice, and we could discuss religions in many ways, and I don't say that there's anything wrong with it. But no one of us walking on this earth, to be honest, has the full answer. We are
That's
just
true.
approaching this in a spiritual and very philosophical way,
Yes.
this subject.
I was raised Southern Baptist, and Southern Baptists really we weren't allowed to communicate with Catholics, and I could never see if God loved everybody, why didn't He love those? Because someone tells me I can't associate that. Ended up marrying a Catholic, um, and there's beauty in every single religion that I have ever come in contact with Muhammad, uh, with Buddha, and Buddhism is not a religion; it is a philosophy. But I've been able to mingle and see the beauty coming from all of them. I choose the path of spirituality, which allows everyone to have the direction that they choose to go. And and to me, that is love. Is saying if this fits you, then by all means, I respect that and everything else. And I'm going to support you in your choice. And I live in a community where um, we do have a lot of a very solid religion, Mormons, and I have great Mormon friends, and I don't try to say, well, you got to give up this, you got to do this, and everything else, because I love you for the soul that you are, and not for the direction of the path that you're taking, and so we can be coexistence because that is not something that matters. I respect that's what matters to you. They respect this what matters to me. But the matter that we are coexisting, that does not matter.
No, it doesn't matter. And we are human beings and we are souls having a human experience,
Oh
each and every
yes.
one of us. So we can see each other. And I love what you have taught me to say, instead of saying, I love you, I see you, I
Yes.
hear you, I honor you
Yes.
for
Because
who you are.
I'm looking beyond the color of your hair, where you live, your background, your age. You know, I'm so much older than you, and yet you wrap me in your arms and call me wonderful. So there are no barriers. I'm not making any judgments on your experiences. I'm seeing you. I am heart to heart with you. I am in connection with your higher good and my higher good, and therefore all of those other things don't matter.
Exactly. And you know, if I would come to you and say, well, I know the truth, you have to follow this because I know the truth, that would not be very loving from
No,
me towards you.
it wouldn't. And So the beauty of it is, yes, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about when we're born into a culture, a area of the world, situations of either a parent is alcoholic or has a problem, or something like that, and we have to grow and deal with that. To me, the soul comes in for experience, so it can be able to assimilate, understand, and therefore, when we are in a situation with someone that is different, maybe we have temperance, maybe we have compassion, maybe we aren't looking for the what got you here as much as the here you are.
Yes, exactly. And judgment can also be used as a mirror,
Oh, yes.
because every judgment we hold towards others or even ourselves reveals something about our inner world. It may reflect an unhealed wound, a suppressed desire, or a part of ourselves we have not yet accepted. When we judge someone for being too emotional, too loud, too quiet, too confident, too this, too that, too
Too kind.
spiritual, too religious, too, we could go on and on. We are often reacting to something within us that feels unresolved.
Yes.
This does not mean that we are wrong for having these reactions because we have them to become aware of them, right? It simply means that judgment can be a teacher. It can show us where we are still growing. It can reveal the places where we have not yet offered ourselves compassion.
That's true. And when we are not compassionate to ourselves, how can we be compassionate to others? If we are not loving with ourselves, how can we really be loving to someone else? You can't teach people to love something because that is a vibration. And we have to be in that higher vibration in order to feel it. Um, you can teach people ways of possibly getting to that point, but until it really happens, um, it has to be felt, and you know,
It has to be felt.
yes,
And in relationships, judgment often rises when expectations are unmet or when fears are triggered. We may judge someone for not behaving the way we want them to.
correct,
They don't meet our standards, our standards. Does that mean that I am 100% right and the other person 100% wrong? No. We may judge them for reminding us of something painful. They
yep,
trigger something within us. We may judge them because we are afraid of being vulnerable. When we soften our judgment, we create space for authentic connection. Authentic connection means that, as we said here previously, I see you and you are perfect, like you love to say, you are perfectly imperfect just as you are, just as I am.
yes,
Maybe we don't resonate that that good, or maybe we do, right? But it's nothing wrong with um, making a conscious choice. And awareness means conscious choices. And to be authentic means we need to go through ourselves, all aspects. And we are perfectly imperfect. We
yes, we
are,
are, yes,
indeed. So, when we soften our judgment, we create space for authentic connection. We begin to listen more deeply. We begin to see the humanity in others. We begin to understand that everyone is navigating their own inner landscape.
exactly, and And when we utilize our spiritual alignment, we begin tapping into our intuition. We begin using clarity and insight to provide a greater understanding of people and their motivations instead of making a harsh, quick decision. We enter into a place of peace by aligning with that higher purpose, and our ideas become tempered by discernment and not by emotional baggage.
Yeah.
And when we practice actively listening by paying attention to all sides, this also includes that inner voice that is saying, don't make a judgment because a person comes from here, here, or here. Listen, find who they really are. And this cultivating humility, it recognizes that the proper discernment involves looking into one's own immediate desires.
Yes.
Do I want
You
them
know,
to change because I think they should?
yeah.
Or should I listen and resolve this in a different way?
The most common way of reacting for many, not everybody, but many, is, well, I see this, I don't like it, and I want you to change. I don't want to change. I want my reality to change, my world, but I
Right.
don't want to change, right?
Yes.
So if we don't accept that we need to change, sometimes maybe baby steps, something small. But when we change something energetically, and everything is energy, that means that it's going to come a change from that. And by the way, we are not, we started this show 40 minutes ago. We were different versions 40 minutes ago. So now we are different versions of ourselves. Nothing is stagnant. Nothing is standing the same. Jesus loves you all. He's the only way. Yeah, thank you. He's part of the way. Yeah, he's there. So transforming judgment into awareness. The first step for transforming judgment is awareness, becoming aware, being aware. Who am
Yeah.
I? What am I thinking? Where do I come from? What triggers me? How do I react? Can I respond differently, right? Awareness. The
Yeah.
second step is acceptance. We do not shame ourselves for judging. We do not judge the judgment. We simply acknowledge it. We see it. We allow it to be seen. Acceptance dissolves resistance and creates space for transformation. The third step is choice. We choose how we want to move forward. We choose whether to hold on to the judgment or release it. We choose whether to respond with fear or with understanding. We choose whether to close or to open.
And this is what it's really all about is choice making. And the tools that we were given to make choices, we've outgrown. Maybe we need to take it and we need to polish it up. Maybe we need to not use that tool anymore. And I bless all of my teachers and well-meaning people that got me to this point. But at one point, I have to say thank you. Now I have to choose what is how I am going to present myself to the world, and it's having that choice without judging everything I do, being aware of how do I affect, how do the words that I say affect people, and being responsible for those, but not making a judgment that I have to be quiet because I was told that I do not have words that can inspire. And that's kind of
Yeah.
the difference, is that we grow into the beautiful expression of love that we came here to be. And that's my journey. I'm,
Yeah.
and I have a feeling that you're going to be presenting me with some questions. Is that what I? It's
Yes.
not a
I'm just kidding.
judgment. It
Are you sure? Really sure? I'm just kidding.
I'm always sure until the questions start coming, but I have learned that I can put them back to the questionnaire, and
Yeah.
I think it gives people an idea of looking into their own situation, and that's the beauty of the questions.
Yes. And we always love to have 5 simple and clear questions. Miss Corrine here is debating whether they are simple or not, right? I'm just
Yeah.
that go beautifully with today's topic. And today we talk about judgment and self-judgment, relationship to self and others. So first question, and I want to mention also these questions are also for you guys to ponder about for yourself.
Yep.
First question, what does judgment mean to you in your everyday life?
There again, I'm going to ask and answer this from the perspective of where I was many years ago. Judgment was something that was so automatic that I did it every moment of the day. You're driving along. Oh, well, that person, needs to lose weight. Oh, well, that car's driving too slow. Oh, this. So it overwhelmed my being, and I was looking through eyes of judgment rather than eyes of love.
Yeah,
And working with myself and understanding that there is so much more, that if I am allowing myself to get rid of the things that do not work in my life, judgment was definitely one that should be. And so, from a personal point of view, for 90% of my life, and I'm kind of way up there, I would say that judgment ruled me. It was,
yeah,
every thought was a judgment, instead of, wow, that's interesting, and understanding. So I am glad that I'm kind of moving on the other end, where I'm not using judgment as my total being.
yeah. I can answer that one too a little bit briefly. Because I had a lot of people in my life that actually supported me. I'm so happy for them. So I always believed, I never judged myself and told myself, I cannot do this. Uh, I learned the opposite, not in a aggressive way or having, an attitude or anything. No, I never had that. But I always believed that I could do just about anything. There's a way to do if I can find my way of doing it, right? If I
Yep.
really want to do it. And of course, there are going to be a few things that maybe are not for me. And that's okay. That's perfect. But what judgment have been for me um, is more in the terms of expectations from others and my response to those expectations. So now I actually quite free from those, but I do still reflect. There are things that are coming up. For instance, when you are expected, if recently I had a very important something I needed to do, connect with people for something, right? And there was another person I was thinking about. And I said to myself, am I a bad person if I don't invite this other person too? Or because I don't feel comfortable having that person there, am I still a good person if I make my choice not to invite them? Right?
Yep.
But
Good
I
one.
made my choice. But I think many times this means that I'm not going to judge myself for it either. And I'm not judging the other person. I try to be open minded, make a choice, because that's for me. And we talked about karma, a lot of things. And if you're from India, you probably heard about karma, right? And everybody else has. For me, karma is not I'm a bad person and next life I'm going to be a bug. No, for me, is karma conscious choices and consequences,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
when we have that awareness, we can make conscious choices, and that is authenticity and trying to be your best version. It doesn't mean that we not sometimes maybe make choices someone will perceive as bad, and maybe it is for them. But we're still entitled to make our choices in the best way we can, right?
Yes. Yes. And we're always doing it because we are perfectly imperfect.
Yes, exactly. So, next question. When do you notice self-judgment showing up the most?
Mm.
That's a good one. That's an
That
easy one,
that
right?
that 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 really is a gets in the mind. And I have a question for you. Where do
Yes.
you get these questions? Because they're right from the heart. Um,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to let you do that one. You know,
Okay.
I have to think about that for a minute.
Yeah. So I think I will state the same as I did when I answered the previous one. Um, when I get triggered for some things that I need to make a new choice about, it can I'm not self-judging myself anymore. Um, I'm not hard on myself, but I sometimes have to ponder about it and make. And I think that pondering also is very important because I need to consider where do I come from? Why do I want to make this choice, right? It's an awareness of self, right?
Yes, and that's what it's all about is becoming aware of what you came here to be of assistance. We all came to be part of the whole, and finding our unique way of being able to be part of that tapestry, I think is the divine mention. So
Yeah.
what's number 3 here? I'm already squirming.
How does judgment affect your relationship with others?
Oh my goodness. Oh,
I knew you would love this one.
I tell you, very much so, because if you're coming from a place of judgment in a relationship, it's almost as if you are always looking for that person to not live up to your expectations, and you are going to be right there to point it out. You didn't do this, so therefore I am going to withhold my love. You didn't respond that way, so therefore I'm going to be retaliatory. Judgment in relationships, and I'm talking relationships with people that are not of your family, with people that are in business. When you are brought to that point where you feel that you have to fight to get what you think is the right way to do it,
Yeah.
you've lost the perspective. You've
Yeah.
lost discussion. You've lost understanding. And that is when judgment of judging that person's ability, that person fitting into society, that person uh, doing what everybody else thinks they should do. That's why we have the turmoil that we have, because we're each doing the best we can do with the information that we have. And like I said, it's, yeah, judgment is a really, can be a really, 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 uh, it, it breaks up everything. It clouds everything. It disallows us to be human.
Yes, I would say something on that too, coming from the opposite side. So uh, I am I've always been very strong in myself. So if you want to convince me of something, I would say I listen to you. I give that because I owe it to you and to myself, right? To listen,
Listen,
having an open mind. But if it doesn't fit me, I'm going to say I hear you, but no.
and
And
that's
and I've
beautiful.
been judged for that quite
Oh
a few
yes,
times.
oh yeah, yeah. I have a lot of judgment scars on myself too, but they are just part of giving yourself a better understanding of
Yes.
it's okay, it's okay.
And it's even okay, you know, when you come to a place where you actually do love yourself. Yeah, you can take that. It's okay. Someone will have an opinion. Someone will judge you. That's their opinion.
Yes.
It's okay. So, fourth question. What helps you shift from judgment into compassion or understanding?
I think if I were to sum that up, that beautiful word called discernment. And in my profession as a teacher and healer, I find that when I'm speaking to someone and they're going through a crisis, for me to judge that they should have stayed away from that situation, they should have this and should have that and should have that. And when I come from discernment and I understand that they're doing the best that they can, the words that I give them are words of enlightenment and encouragement, not words of you wouldn't be in this situation if you had just followed this, or you wouldn't be fat if you would just give up food. And I find that when I'm speaking to someone, especially taking that moment to be still and to hear what is for their highest good,
Yeah.
it I I guess discernment is how I put that instead of judgment.
Someone says here, the person from India, my English is not good both sides. Forgive me, sisters, of course. And there's no need to forgive you for anything. You didn't do anything.
That's
You are
that's
perfectly imperfect, just as we are.
yes,
Everybody is welcome here. So, what helps me shift from judgment also? Yeah, well, I don't come from a judgmental place, and I also work with people. And sometimes they say I have a silly question, or it's a dumb question, or I
never.
um, in this way, and I judge myself for it. And I say I never come from judgment. So just try to entangle what's going on, and sometimes listen to someone, because most of the time, most people come from a place where they try to do their best from what they have at hand, just as you said. There are very, very few on this earth. Of course, that exists too, but there are not many who are pure evil, right?
Yes.
Um, but there are some people. But even if you have maybe a diagnosis, a disease, or whatever it is, and you may be appearing like you are a difficult person to deal with, you don't deserve judgment either, because you try to do whatever you can from where you come from, right? That's the
Exactly.
only thing we can do, right? Coming
Yes.
from compassion and understanding, right?
Ah,
So,
yes.
last question. How
Oh,
about
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
how do you practice being kinder to yourself when self-judgment appears?
That is something that I'm still practicing. However, believe it or not, having a sense of humor and being able to look at the situation and go, now, if I saw that in a movie, I would be laughing at that situation. So therefore, I'm going to resolve it just by laughing, and then I'll get back to trying to figure out how to resolve it. Because it slips in even unconsciously, and we're and learning how to expand our mind through meditation and getting to that point where we are living in the now, I think has really, really helped me a lot, because I'm not living in who I was 5 years ago, who I was even 2 years ago. I'm living in this is the person that is evolving, and this is the person that deserves my, see, I just made a judgment. I just made a judgment. Deserves. This is the person that is receiving my immediate love, and I do not need to give any thought to what maybe is slowing me down. I'm going to see it, acknowledge it, bless it, and then let it go.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, sometimes we do, but I take it more as reflection on my end. Because, sometimes one could say, okay, 20 years ago, maybe I could have done some other choices, right? That would be a safe self-judgment and a self-blame. But if we turn it around and we say, maybe what I had at hand 20 years ago, I made the best decisions I could and choices at the time. And by the way, I wouldn't be this version if I made a different choice in the past, would I? No.
That came up in meditation the other night, and I gently told them, if you had made a different choice anytime in your lifetime, you would not be sitting here right now. So
Yeah,
that
exactly.
is the beauty of it. And what got you here is your past. What you are now is the present, that the gift that we have to give to the world. So
Yes.
it got you here. So
Yes.
bless it. Say thank
Yes.
you. It was hard. I, might have liked a different way, but I wouldn't be me if I hadn't gone through what I went through. So
No, you would have been someone else. Still the
exactly.
same name, but a different version of yourself.
I
Totally
would
different.
I would be.
Yeah. Yeah, you would be. So, my beautiful co-host and sister and cosmic soul sister and everything good. Are we ready to wrap it up a little bit?
I think we are, because I know that you've got some beautiful affirmations coming up, and I would love to hear those.
Yes. Oh, thank you. So, just some advertisements here first. Find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. And you can connect with us, read articles, find Corrine, her website, and how to connect with her. She, by the way, she has an open heart meditation. Bye to you. Open heart meditation every Tuesday at her center in Mesa, Arizona. So if you happen to be in the area, I don't have the phone number here up so I can see it,
That's
but
fine.
you're very welcome. But if you go to angelplaceonearth.com/cosmic guardians, you find me, Corrine, articles, and you find Corrine's website, liquidenergyhealing.com.
Yes.
And also, you can also find coming in past episodes at angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-pass. We have currently done 2 series, which you can find at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. And those series are the 4 agreements, which we are going to expand a little bit later this year. We're going to look at the 5th agreement plus some other stuff. And we had a series about the Celestial Prophecy. Our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sis-Stars show with Miss Corrine and myself is going to be next Wednesday, February 25th, and we talk about love versus attachment. How about
Whoa,
that? Ooh, that's a deep one.
it is. Yeah.
And we do go live for you every Wednesday in the US and Europe, and every Thursday, early morning in Australia, every Wednesday. And today's affirmation is, do you want to read it or do you want me to read
I'm going to let you read it.
it? Thank you. I honor my growth, release harsh judgment, and choose to see myself and others through the clarity of compassion and truth.
Ah, beautiful.
That, yeah, that was beautiful, to be honest.
Yes, yes,
Perfect.
yes.
And to all of you interacting with us today, thank you so much. We thank you for joining us in this heart-opening exploration on the Cosmic Sisters show as we continue to grow beyond judgment and soften the voice of self-judgment. May we each walk with a little more clarity, compassion, and connection, both within ourselves and with the souls we meet along the way. Until next time, keep shining your truth, keep listening to your inner wisdom, and keep rising with us among the stars. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.